Hello and welcome to Latch Power. And as our name suggests, we're all about lactation empowerment. Thank you for joining us today. I will be doing an education on next steps if the baby will not attach at breast. So the scenario here is that you've given birth and you're still in the hospital and baby will not latch or attach at breast. If you are watching this video and you have not delivered yet, I would like for you to log off now and Google breastfeeding education or breastfeeding classes in your community that you can take prior to giving birth. I believe that breastfeeding education prior to birth is one of the best tools that you can have in your toolbox. So log off and come back after you've made an appointment for antenatal breastfeeding assessment. And in this assessment, it's really a great tool because there are certain things that a new mom may not know that affects breastfeeding. For example, different types of nipples. You could have what's referred to as flat nipples where they really don't protrude out, or you could have inverted nipples. And if you were to do an antenatal breastfeeding assessment, those things would be able to come out in the assessment, and so you would then have a plan of action so that when baby is born, you'd have a better chance of obtaining a latch. And so that is just one of the anatomical things that could be going on with the mom. I hate saying so much, but I'm human, so we're gonna roll with it. So it's very important if you have enough time between now and the time that you deliver that you could see somebody. You can call WIC. You could check into, I'm in Michigan, so in Michigan you could check with Michigan Breastfeeding Network. We have a core cohort, which are all community-based breastfeeding, all community-based breastfeeding providers all over the state of Michigan that you could reach out to have some type of breastfeeding education prior to birth. Also, you can contact your local WIC office to do breastfeeding counseling, and a lot of times in those appointments they will ask about your anatomy. So because flat or inverted nipples can cause latching issues, and they can give you advice on how to obtain a latch, even if you know your breast anatomy is not typical. We won't say normal, we'll say not typical. So I'm also including a troubleshooting flow chart because I know not everybody wants to sit for, I can get a little wordy. So I don't know how long the video is going to be, but I assure you that there will be a timestamp in the comments. Also, there will be links in the comments. There will be a link for the PDF troubleshooting guide that will be like just a flow chart, and you'll have clickable links that you can click on for videos that pertain to you know, the flow chart is like a box, and then a line and box, and you kind of follow it to, you know, troubleshoot the issue. And so let's say the first issue would be skin to skin. And so you click the box and it will have a video that shows about skin to skin. Okay. Now, reasons why the latch might not be possible. There could be separation. Maybe there's a medical reason that you and baby needed to be separated. It could be possible that baby is refusing to take the breast. Also possible that baby will attach, but maybe it's so painful that you cannot take it. And honestly, you shouldn't take it, and it shouldn't be painful. And so if it is painful, you want to insert a clean finger into the mouth and break the latch. So the scenario for this video is that you've given birth and you've had the magic hour of skin to skin with baby, and then it comes time to feed baby, and all of a sudden, like when the clock strikes midnight on Cinderella, the magic is gone. And more often than not, there's this urgency to feed baby, and a lot of times there's a push to feed baby formula. And so I want to provide next steps that are in line with your goal of feeding baby from your own body. So, offering anything but your milk would be a deviation from your goal, which is to feed baby from your own body. And it's unnecessary at this point. And so we're going to go through the next steps. So the first step would be doing skin to skin. You're gonna allow baby to lie. I suggest like between the breasts. And skin to skin is awesome for many reasons and many various reasons. But for the purpose of latching, you just want to get baby acclimated. I heard somewhere that like the womb is the baby's home for 9 months, and after baby is born, this is their new home. So you want to get them settled in at their new home, and what they can do is they can feel your warmth, and they can smell all the smells, and it's also really good for you and your hormones and everything that tells your body to make milk for this new life that you've created. And so a lot of times baby will smell milk and start to seek it out, and so skin to skin allows that. If baby starts to seek out milk, I would suggest I'll show you what I've experienced personally and what I've seen in breastfeeding support. Excuse my chair. So baby has natural inborn instinct. I don't know if you've ever seen the breast crawl, but I would encourage you to Google the breast crawl and watch. So the inborn instincts are for baby to, you know, lie on mom, skin to skin, smell all the smells, and start to seek out the breast. And so they have this kind of crawling instinct to crawl and look for milk. Now, she's got a mind of her own, like most newborns, right? So this natural natural, really wonderful inborn instinct that baby has met with mom's unlearned natural instinct, because breastfeeding is natural, but over centuries of not breastfeeding, like, it's not written into our genetic code anymore, right? And so we've got to relearn the things that baby already knows. So this is how a lot of times I see us approach breastfeeding. And so baby's natural inborn instinct is working against mom, and we're trying to hold baby and try to figure out how to get baby to breast. So what is commonly suggested now is, baby said she don't want to turn off. Okay, so what is suggested is to do what is called the natural or laid back breastfeeding position. And there will be a link in the description box below to show a more detailed version, but I'm gonna show really quickly. And so what I'm doing is scooting my hips forward in my chair, and I'm gonna lay baby on my chest. And the idea is to recline so much so that gravity holds baby on your chest. And because gravity is holding baby, you now have the use of both of your hands. And so typically baby will start head bobbing, looking for milk. And what you do in that case is you can kind of push your breast. You can kind of help guide baby to breast a little bit, but you want to allow baby to attach themselves, because remember, baby knows how, and we've forgotten. And so it's important to allow the baby to help you. I've helped some folks with breastfeeding, chest feeding, that felt like they needed to be in control. And I would like for you to think about this new journey as a team, and know that baby and you are a team, and there's no I in team. And so you don't need to control it. Allow baby to help you, and you'll find that when you do the natural feeding position and allow baby to help you, that baby will attach themselves. And more often than not, it's a good, comfortable attachment where milk transfer can actually take place. And again, there'll be a detailed video in the description box. The other thing I wanted to show you is the football hold. There's also a mixed version of natural and football hold that I found to be really key in breastfeeding my now 18-month-old because of some oral anatomy issues she had. We had to be creative in our feeding positions. And so one of the feeding positions that I found to be really great was like a mixed version of laid back and football. And so it allowed me to rest, and also for her to get a good latch. And so I will also include that in the link in the description box to give you a more detailed look at that. And so we talked about skin to skin, let the baby sniff around and seek out milk, and also practicing latch. There are three ways that I suggest to express milk. Well, colostrum, which is milk, but it's a very concentrated version of milk. And in my opinion, well, what helps me to differentiate the two is I like to think about the baby's tummy size. So on day one, this is the baby's tummy size. And I think about like a laundry detergent pod, which is just a small little thing because it's concentrated, right? As opposed to a regular laundry liquid detergent cup, which is going to be a higher volume because there's also water added to it. So that's my way to think about colostrum and regular milk. I mean, what we call mature milk and regular milk. And so the colostrum is really, really concentrated, and so it's going to be very thick. And because of that, it does not really work well with an electric pump. So at the hospital, a lot of times if you're having trouble with attaching baby, you might be offered an electric pump. I'll show you the differences between the different ways to express. So we have hand expression, and so you're going to milk yourself with hand expression. And then we have a manual pump, and we also have this is a haaka. I say haaka sometimes, haaka. a haaka. So I'll just I think I find it. Well, I'll show you both ways. I'll show you front view and then side view. So for hand expression, you want to areolas come in different sizes. Let me just point that out. And then I'll also say, just speak to the breast anatomy really quick. So this here is the nipple. This is the base of the nipple, and this little part here is the areola. And these little bumpy things on there release a waxy substance that is scented to attract baby, and also the waxy substance lubricates your breasts to keep them from chapping and cracking and getting really poor. So hand expression. You know, I can get wordy. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. So there's been some mixed advice, and I think it may be due to the variable sizes of areolas, because you'll find some areolas that are this big. You'll find some that are even bigger. And so one reference, educational reference that I saw said to go 1 to 2 centimeters beyond the base of the nipple. And so if I were to do that, that would be past this breast areola. And so another educational reference said to go 2 fingers width above the areola. And so depending on the size of the areola, that could be anywhere. That could be here for this one. For an areola that's bigger, it could be way up here. And so for me personally, I go about 1 finger width higher than my areola. One thing to avoid is compressing right at the nipple, because all of the pockets of milk are around in here and all throughout the breast. And so if you're compressing here, you're blocking off all of the pathways from which the milk comes from. So you want to go back, squeeze, and roll your thumb. Back, squeeze, roll. 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 And you want to do it at a pressure that's comfortable for you. I felt like I was squeezing this breast a little harder than I probably would squeeze my own, of course, because I can't feel it. And so you want to use a pressure that's good for you. You don't want to do it too fast because the colostrum is thick. And so you want to get a nice rhythm, but not too fast. Back, squeeze, roll. Back, squeeze, roll. And I'm also going to include a link in the description of an actual lactating breast, so you can actually see the colostrum being collected from an actual lactating breast and not just this pretend breast. So, hand expression. Overall, hand expression would be my #1 go-to, just because anything else could cause unnecessary breast damage, because the manual pump, although you control the suction with your hand, there could be a mixed match size, because these come in different sizes as nipples come in different sizes. So if you have the wrong size, you could end up with a little bit of breast damage. So if the manual pump hurts you, stop using that. And I think I forgot to mention at the top of the video that the first step, because you're still in the hospital, the first step to troubleshooting what's going on with Latch would be to contact the hospital's lactation department and ask to see someone. And then in the meantime and in between time, you can do the suggestions I have here to protect breastfeeding until you are able to obtain a latch. So I'll demonstrate how to pump with this. So you're just gonna go, but you want to hold it, because again, the thickness of the colostrum is going to make it have somewhat of a delay. So you want to kind of hold the pressure a little bit longer. And that's why I don't suggest doing a electric pump, because the electric pump has an automatic setting of where it's going to go at. Let me see if I can. it's gonna kind of go like, which is way too fast to get the colostrum. So you want to have nice, slow sucks. The same way kind of when I was demonstrating the hand expression, when I said you don't want to go too fast. And one thing I want to caution you about using the hand pump is that the thick stickiness of the colostrum is going to kind of drain down, and it's going to stick and stick all the way down. And so by the time it's drained all down there, you're gonna lose a lot of the colostrum in the bottle. And when I demonstrated hand expression, I forgot to show you guys that you can collect it in a small cup like this. You can hand express into a bottle. The more shallow, the better. And so I would suggest to hand express into a shallow dish, because as I was stating before, once it drips down and down the whole length of the bottle, you're going to lose colostrum that way. And then also, when you hand express into the shallow collection cup, you can suck it up with the syringe. Once again, show you the tummy size. This is the amount that baby should receive on day 1, between 5 and 7 meals. So, no pressure, right? You can also feed baby from the cup if you'd like. Sit baby up and you feed with the cup. You can syringe feed. You can allow baby to suck on your finger and give little bits of colostrum. Steps that you can take before you have to introduce anything that derails breastfeeding, which is the whole purpose for today. So we've gone over expression and then feeding, which was my last step, and I just demonstrated to you feeding with the cup, feeding with the syringe. Oh, let's skip this step. Forgot to show you the haaka. So, if you cannot hand express, I would suggest for you to go straight to the haaka, because the haaka provides constant suction, which you could also get constant suction with the hand pump by doing this, but just, you know, you don't have to depress the pump all the way to where it won't go any further. You just use the amount of pressure that is comfortable for you, and you just hold it. And so that's constant suction instead of. And so just a little personal story, when I had my baby last year in February, I brought the haaka, and it was mainly out of curiosity, but I put the haaka on my breast, and I looked away. I don't know, I got caught in conversation, I don't know. But I looked away, and not for a long period of time, but when I looked, I had a lot of colostrum in there. I mean, not like full or anything, but I had like a nice shot of colostrum from here all the way down, of which I was able to feed it to my baby. So as you can see, again, it gives constant suction, but you must be careful because it can give too much suction and it could cause nipple damage. So you want to control the suction by how hard you squeeze this. So if you squeeze it just a little bit, just a little suction. Squeeze it medium, medium suction. You squeeze it all the way, high suction. And so only do what's comfortable for you. Less is always more when it comes to pressure and suction, because that is living tissue and you want to keep your tissue nice and healthy so that once latch is obtained with you and baby, that it won't be painful. So you want to do all things that set yourself up for success. And like I stated earlier, there'll be a self-help troubleshooting tool in the description. Also a video on hand expression with a lactating breast. Also there will be a video on positions and latching. And that's all I have for you today. And I hope that something I've said today will be helpful in your journey. And I hope that you will like, comment, subscribe. And I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. And thank you so much for joining Life Power today. And I hope that you feel empowered, that you can meet your goal to breastfeed without any interruptions. So again, thank you so much for joining me. And I really wish you the best along your breastfeeding journey. And I will talk to you soon in the comment section. Bye bye.